On all the thought leadership programs that are getting launched. So how have been your journey? How has been the IIBA's journey in bringing all these kind of collaborations and helping the BA community as such?
Well, it's been interesting because some of them they're all different in the way we've gotten them started and where we're positioning ourselves. So we're trying to learn as we go, right? This is just the beginning of a journey for us, but we picked a handful of topics we thought we could execute against in 2017, pick ones where we have some traction, and pick ones where we had some logical, we call them gatekeepers, right? That are the people that do that curation of it to make sure the content is relevant to the BA profession and are things that are valuable. You know, one of the big differentiators in our information and as we evolve this thought leadership program is that oversight to the content, right? Because you can look up a lot of it on Google,
Right.
but you don't know whether it came from an expert or just from somebody with a whacked out opinion about it, right? So in what we offer and in curating this information, we hope to bring the best content and the best practices and the best thoughts from thought leaders around the world, from academia, from corporate, from the general community, with some of them being very crowdsource oriented in their approach. Others, it's clear some of the corporations may be stronger contributors, so there might be more of a corporate involvement than others. Others are things that have been going on for a while, like analytics, right? It's not brand new, but the role of the business analysts and how we restructure that role to be more involved in those kinds of uses, because I think Sandhya explained it very well about that's underlies so much of this, right? Artificial intelligence depends on good data and good data analytics to be part of that solution for machine learning to really be effective. So, you know, we're really into that. You know, when you look at the programs that are out there, we think they're the ones that it was about. We probably had a list of 20 when we started, but you need to execute against ones in the short term and learn as we go. And then next year we'll add things like probably cybersecurity, probably artificial intelligence, and some will get added as we have capacity and custodial folks that can manage those kinds of relationships. I think the other part of it that we didn't explain on stage is how do you get the community involved, right? It's like we create things and push some of it out, but I would look to, as it gets pushed, that the community itself will find ways of think of it as a hub and spoke model, right? So we things out, we already have chapters that are involved in some of these things, right? So that becomes the hub and spoke model. Maybe they take one of those threads and they develop it and they spread it to the community and give it back. And that's the ecosystem we see will be absolutely most effective, right? Get the best thoughts on the table, enable that collaboration in a way that's never been done before. And our experience with it, though, when you think about it, the BA Bach was an enormous collaboration, right? You think there was a core team that developed it, but then literally thousands and thousands of people provided feedback, right? So we can truly say it is the reflection of the community. That's what we want in the Thought Leader program too, where you need to get a starting point, get it out into the community, and let the community evolve it, from their own practice, from their experience with their clients, and we need to be responsive to that and keep that evolving content. So it kind of gets into, and you saw it in Ashish's presentation a little bit about, in the past, the way we delivered some of that intellectual property is like the BA Bach, it's a book and a downloadable PDF. But that, in its essence, makes that content more static than we believe it has to be in the future, right? I could sit here and rattle off probably 10 or 12 chapters that I think are missing from the BA Bach, right? And it's a way of like not having to do release 3.1.6 you know what I mean? So it's a way of keeping the content dynamic. So that's what we need to do going forward too, is evolve thought leadership in a very dynamic way and not look that it's just a PDF in its output. It's not just that kind of a thing. it'll be delivering that content in multiple mechanisms out to the community for absorption and response. So.